Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday morning. It's good to see you today. Glad you're here. Glad you're awake. Glad you're alive today. Looking forward to the weekend. Hope you got big weekend plans. Hope all goes well. And speaking of which, I think that we have a tendency to believe that if we are in the perfect will of God, then everything is going to go perfect because we're in the perfect will of God. But sometimes being in the perfect will of God or stepping out in the perfect will of God can be quite challenging. It can be hard sometimes to be in the will of God and to be in the perfect will of God and to step out in the will of God. It can be hard. It can be challenging because often it goes against our flesh. It goes against our comfort because we're having to step out in the will of God, and we're having to do that in faith. And our flesh could be screaming all along, hey, wait a minute. I don't know about that. But once you know the will of God, just realize if you step out in it, God's going to take care of you. But at the same time, it's easy to say that, but at the same time as well, you have to know that there's going to be some challenges, that you're going to have to often swim up against the current. There may be some challenges you never thought would come because, again, you're going against the current. You're going against what your flesh often desires. Even though deep down inside, I think we all truly want to be in the will of God, the perfect will of God. But still, it can be challenging. And again, just because you're in the will of God, that doesn't mean that everything is going to go perfectly. But there's no place where you'll find more peace and more fulfillment than in the perfect will of God. We all have choices and decisions we make all the time throughout the day and throughout our life. So the key is to get the mind of God. If you can get the mind of God, and then you can know without any doubt whatsoever that truly that right there is the will of God, then once you know God's perfect will, then you have to realize as well that whatever happens, however hard the struggle is, that God is going to be with you. And there's no place like being in the perfect will of God. There is peace and fulfillment and just knowing that I'm right where God wants me to be, doing what He wants me to do. There's no feeling like knowing that. Just a thought as we wrap up the week. God bless you. Thank you for watching Coffee with the Pastor. Hey, if you're in our area, we'd love to have you come join us for worship this Sunday at 9:30 and 5:30 at the First Pentecostal Church of Baton Rouge.